29, final verse. He says, having known me as the enjoyer of sacrifices and austerities, the supreme Lord of all worlds, the friend of all beings, he attains peace. So this is the final stage then of enlightenment. So he uses the word me here again with a capital M to indicate the self. So he attains peace means, again, that idea that we were talking about earlier. Absolute detachment, complete non-involvement, non-affectation by anything that happens at the level of the body, mind, intellect, whatever changes go on in the world. And then he uses different epithets here. The enjoyer of sacrifices and austerities. So the reason that we perform austerities, self-control, and redirecting our attention, the reason that we perform sacrifices is because we have an ideal. So by the practice of sacrifice and austerity, we identify with the ideal. As we begin to identify more and more with the ideal, we gain that commensurate degree of mental peace. Everything becomes an enjoyment. You know, it doesn't matter what the world throws at us. It doesn't matter what passes through us. Everything becomes an enjoyment. Again, go back to that same example. We enjoy every aspect of a movie, whether it's horrible, tragic, funny, interesting, tense, and whatever it is. We enjoy all aspects of it. So as we grow in that, we become an enjoyer of all aspects of life. It culminates in the enjoyer. He also says the self is the supreme Lord. So Lord in the sense of being the master, being the that thing without which, you know, nothing follows. You know, talk about master and slave in a control system. You know, the master, you know, the rest of it. The master is that which governs, is that without which nothing follows from it. And so he talks about the self being pure consciousness, without which no conditioned consciousness can arise. So light coming from the sun is pure light, pure sunlight. It becomes conditioned by objects, and then we see the conditioned light. We see the object. I see your face. It's conditioned light bouncing off your face. I see the conditioned light. So the sun is the Lord of all conditioned light. You know, you get the sunlight coming in perfectly pure, bounces off a pool of water and bounces off. That conditioned light can only exist because of the incident ray. So the self is the Lord of all beings in that sense. A being is being conditioned consciousness. And a friend. So a friend is someone who gives you solace, who gives you peace. Again, there's that idea of the self being a haven. You know, it's that place that you can go back to gain that, even relatively speaking. The moment you turn introvert, you gain a sense of mental peace, because the agitations we're experiencing are because of that extroverted external dependency. The moment we turn our attention inwards, we just cut those a little bit and we gain a sense of solace. All mental agitations, all bondages disappeared by identifying with the self. So you get that perfect solace, that beautiful sensation of, the other word he uses is refuge. Exactly. It's a refuge from, you know, external disturbances, whatever they happen to be. You take that refuge within. So this is why he uses the word friend, solace.